Quality of hire. Here's the question. Who's responsible for quality of hire? Is it us as recruiting professionals? Is it the hiring leader? Is it HR? Welcome to another edition of Recruiter Fuel, where our whole purpose in this is to identify problems and turn them into opportunities, to dig deeper into why the problems exist in the first place, and to give you at least one piece of practical information or practical advice that you can take back to your organization today. This idea of quality of hire ignites a firestorm every time I see something on social media or post something on social media about it. Recruiters saying, that's not my responsibility, it's the hiring leader's responsibility. A hiring leader thinking, yes, I made the hire, but I picked from the group that the recruiter presented. So who's responsible? Well, I think the issue comes in that both are responsible. As recruiting professionals, if we provide candidates that are under the bar of what's expected, yet we make our leaders select from those individuals, are we potentially picking the best of the worst? And there's reality to the fact that, hey, my manager may be a really bad manager, but didn't you know that when you were looking for a candidate, it's not that they're generally bad managers, they're generally a bad manager for a certain profile of individual, but others will excel under that same manager. But as recruiters, we often have a tendency to focus on one thing, and that's the alignment of the candidate just with the job, because it's the easiest. Determining skills that align with that job are actually pretty easy. I mean, when we think about hiring and firing, we fire 80-some% of the time for something other than skills. So the alignment, number one, of a candidate with a job is actually pretty easy. When we start looking at view 2, 3, and 4, perspective 2, 3, and 4, this is where things start to get a bit more complicated, right? So alignment number one, candidate and job. Alignment number two is candidate and the manager. I'll have you consider that our job as recruiting professionals is to understand the profile of that manager, understand the profile of a candidate that will actually work well with that manager. I think it's somewhat of a cop-out to think, well, it's the manager's fault. It's the manager's fault that the individual that I placed with that manager didn't work out. But shouldn't you have known what that hiring leader was like, what their profile was like, what they expected? Did we ask the questions to truly understand who they were? I mean, there's 4 dimensions as we're going through to understanding if that candidate actually fits and affects the quality of hire. So number one, again, the candidate and the job. Number 2, the candidate and the hiring leader, which I think we all understand. Number 3 is another dynamic. It is the candidate and the team. They may have a great alignment with the leader, but if they don't have a great alignment with the profiles that are actually on the team, but when's the last time you asked the question, let me connect with the team that this person is going to work with to understand how they operate, who those people are, what their profile is, to determine if the candidate that you're bringing to your hiring leader to hire complements the team or potentially will create conflict with the team. And then the 4th dimension, or the 4th context, we need to make sure we understand is the candidate and the culture of your organization. And that means understanding what the culture is. Quality of hire is not just they have the skill set. Quality of hire is making sure they fit the job, making sure they're aligned with the manager, making sure they're aligned with the team, and making sure they're aligned with the culture of the company. A big part, in my opinion, based on those 4 contexts, is quality of hire. A big part of it sits on our shoulders, is influenced by us as professional recruiters. Now, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Recruiter Fuel is all about a community of recruiters coming together to help each other. And I hope this is a perspective that you'll dig into a little bit deeper. Come back to our website, edu.com and do a search for results-based interviewing. And it's a longer course where I address these 4 alignment or disengagement issues to help us increase the quality of hire, at least influence our ability to drive up the quality of hire. Now, if you've got some thoughts on this topic or anything else related to recruiting, please reach out to me. Let me know. Click the button that's on your screen to follow. But if you want to come on to a future show of Recruiter Fuel, please do reach out to me. And if your content is something that's helpful to the masses of recruiting professionals, I would love to have you on. Welcome to another Recruiter Fuel, and welcome to the community.